Imagine a question that seems like a trick, but carries profound historical significance. What did humans actually eat before they had fire? The honest answer reveals a menu capable of terrifying any modern health inspector. A massive amount of raw meat, a staggering variety of insects, and deadly pathogens. All of this was processed by a digestive system that was fundamentally primitive and thousands of times more robust than the stomach currently digesting your lunch. Before fire, eating was not a safe or predictable experience. It was a daily, life-or-death negotiation with bacterial risks, biological limits, and the daunting puzzle of how to extract calories from things that had not yet been transformed by heat. Let us embark on a journey through time to explore this primal menu, a brilliant but often overlooked chapter in evolutionary history, simply because it occurred before cooking, humanity's greatest invention, came to be. To grasp the scale of this story, we must understand one core truth. Fire is an incredibly young tool in the evolutionary timeline. Our Homo genus has existed for nearly 3 million years, while modern humans appeared only about 300,000 years ago. However, the deliberate daily control and use of fire only became widespread around 400,000 to 1 million years ago. This means that for millions of grueling years, our ancestors ate everything completely raw. They didn't do this for some wild survivalist experience. They did it because it was their only option, repeated generation after generation. The first and most shocking highlight on the primal dining table is raw meat. Archaeological evidence, stone tool cut marks on animal bones, dates back at least 2.5 million years, preceding the use of fire by a massive margin. Chewing raw meat was, practically speaking, a severe mechanical challenge. Muscle fibers, cartilage, and connective tissues unbroken by heat demanded immense chewing force. That is why the skulls of early hominins possessed robust jaw muscles and oversized molars. Accompanying this toughness were dozens of deadly pathogens like Salmonella, E. coli, and tapeworms. Our ancestors paid the price, with sky-high mortality rates, surviving only thanks to a digestive system with incredibly strong stomach acid, acting as a shield against a bacterial catastrophe in a world already fraught with danger. But they didn't just eat lean meat. Organ meats and bone marrow were the true delicacies. Brains, livers, and kidneys were not only soft and easy to chew, but also packed with a tremendous amount of nutrients. In particular, bone marrow, rich, calorie-dense fat, was an invaluable prize. Numerous percussion marks on ancient bones prove that our ancestors relentlessly smashed bones to scrape out this vital energy source. Even more astonishingly, a large portion of their meat didn't come from majestic hunts, but from scavenging. They fought over rotting carcasses left behind by other predators, meaning they were putting meat that had already begun decomposing into their mouths, a stark reality far removed from any modern food safety standard. Turning to the most essential energy source, plants. Without fire, digesting starch is a nightmare. Raw starch in roots and tubers has a crystalline structure that human enzymes find incredibly difficult to break down. To solve this puzzle, they had to grind, pound, chew thoroughly, or even utilize natural fermentation. Even so, the pre-fire plant menu almost certainly relied more on easy-to-eat items like ripe fruits, fat-rich nuts, and leaves, rather than rigid tubers that only truly shine when cooked. Alongside these were insects and honey, the primordial superfoods. Ants, termites, and beetle larvae provided a lucrative, year-round source of protein and fat that required little effort to gather and no cooking. Meanwhile, honey was a pure energy bomb, requiring only the courage to face furious bee swarms to obtain. The traces of this brutal diet are still imprinted in our very bodies. Compared to our primate relatives, humans have a significantly shorter intestinal tract, particularly the colon. The expensive tissue hypothesis argues that only when fire emerged to reduce the digestive burden could our guts shrink, freeing up massive amounts of energy to nourish a rapidly developing brain. Earlier raw food-eating ancestors had to shoulder a large gut to process their food. Thus, their brain size was limited by this harsh energetic equation. Furthermore, microscopic wear patterns on fossilized tooth enamel show that the raw diet was not uniform. Some species specialized their jaws to crush tough, fibrous leaves, while our direct ancestors chose a flexible path, relying on tools and strategies to adapt. This survival picture would be incomplete without mentioning drinking water and preservation. Drinking from natural streams back then meant inviting countless parasites into the body, creating an environment surrounded by disease on all sides. Regarding food, without fire to smoke or dry it, meat would rot very quickly in hot climates. This time pressure inadvertently fostered one of the greatest beauties of human society: sharing. When meat from a large kill couldn't be stored, the optimal approach was to distribute it evenly among the group. This act not only prevented waste, but also created a network of reciprocal relationships, laying the foundation for the complex social structures of humanity. Only nuts and roots, nature's storehouses, served as rations to sustain them through lean seasons. All these complexities are not mere theories, but can be partially verified through the behavior of modern chimpanzees. Without fire, wild chimpanzees still track seasons, use tools to extract termites, and even organize small-scale monkey hunts with clear role divisions in meat sharing. If chimpanzees can do that, our ancestors, with slightly higher intelligence and stone tool-making abilities, undoubtedly possessed highly sophisticated raw food foraging strategies, seamlessly blending active hunting with flexible scavenging. Concluding this journey, we realize that millions of years of chewing raw food wasn't just a dark waiting period for fire to bring the light of civilization. It was a great crucible. Exactly in that temperatureless world, where every sip of water was a risk, and every scavenged chunk of meat required both strength and cunning, our ancestors forged their behavioral flexibility, strategic thinking, and incredible adaptability. They survived not through fangs or sheer muscle, but through intellect and resilience. Every tough piece of raw meat, every painstakingly dug up root, every small handful of insects, all worked together to write a silent epic, laying the solid foundation that shaped the very essence of humanity today.